Hey guys, Phil here again from Japan. Just a short little one here. I'll probably make a longer one tomorrow, but a quick little one because I wanted to talk about something that is not Japan bashing with regards to this outbreak, but it actually is a little bit of perhaps good news. You know, if you're watching this on YouTube, maybe you've seen the other videos. If you're watching this on Facebook, then you might need to pop over to YouTube to see an older video. But in the older video, I talked about how the Japanese government has this policy of hospitalizing everybody who tests positive, and how that was creating a huge strain on the medical system. Actually, maybe that video is on here on Facebook. But so that was causing a big strain on the medical system. That's still true, but a little interesting what they're doing here. I also said that the Japanese government have rented across Japan 210,000 hotel rooms. 210,000. And they're going to use these hotels as a place to put non-symptomatic people who test positive. So in other words, if you don't have breathing problems, it's particularly the breathing problems. If you don't have breathing problems, then you're going to go to a hotel. If you have actual symptoms, especially breathing problems, then you're going to go to a real hospital. And in a hotel, during the day they have nursing staff, and at night they have, I think, police or military and prefectural staff as assistants there. And I said, wow, you know, that's weird, and it does create a strain on the medical system. But one of the interesting things I've been reading about is this different approach to quarantine. And I've not seen this mentioned on the Japanese news, which is strange, but you know, they talk about how, you know, people can't self-quarantine at home very well because homes in Japan are tiny. You know, that whole thing they always talk about in Japan, which is not always true. But, you know, they don't have the space to self-quarantine. But the reality is that what we're seeing is a comparison between South Korea and their policy, which is very similar to the Japanese one, and America. If you self-quarantine at home, unless you live by yourself, you're putting the person or persons who are quarantined or in that house with you at great risk. And you're not going to get this R factor, this transmission factor down below 1 if you're putting people self-quarantining at home where there's other people, because for sure they're going to infect those people. And the massive amount of infections that we're seeing in America are people who are self-quarantining at home and infecting the other people in that house. We're seeing that also in Japan for the people who, under special circumstances, couldn't actually self-quarantine in the hotel. So South Korea did it the opposite, or did it the same way that Japan is doing. They took everybody who tested positive, put them in a hotel or put them in a hospital or isolated them so that they couldn't infect anybody. And that was one of the key things that kept South Korea from having such huge explosive numbers or from getting on top of this very early. So I think it's a good thing what Japan has done. Big strain on the medical system, admitting all these people in the hospital, managing all that paperwork, and you know, in Japan they love paperwork. All the staff that's needed to facilitate those people, because now you have people not just in hospital but in hotels as well. All of that puts a strain, but it does keep a cap on infections. And I'm quietly optimistic about what's happening in Japan. I think that there's still going to be an issue over this Golden Week with people traveling, but we're going to talk about that in another video. I just wanted to make a quick one to say, wow, it's good what they're doing, why they're doing it, and perhaps some of the reasons behind it. See you soon. Stay home. Bye for now.